Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're focusing on something super important for your English journey, listening practice. Learning English can feel difficult sometimes, right? But every little step you take, like practicing listening, brings you closer to your goals. Don't give up. It's a skill that can truly change your life, open new doors, and help you connect with people all over the world. You know, learning anything new often reminds me of something powerful I read in a book called The Mountain Is You by Brianna Wiest. The main idea is that the biggest problems, the biggest mountains in our lives, the things stopping us from reaching our dreams, aren't actually outside of us. They are inside us. The fear, the doubt, the old habits, we are often the obstacle we need to overcome. Think about it for a second. When you try to listen to English, is the real challenge the words themselves, or is it something inside you? Maybe it's the fear of making a mistake, the impatience when you don't understand everything. Could your own thoughts be the real mountain stopping you from improving your listening? In today's listening practice, we're going to face that mountain together. We'll work on understanding, but also on building confidence and patience. So don't let that inner voice tell you it's too hard. Just breathe, focus, and let's do this. Keep listening now to start practicing.
Chapter 1. The Mountain Inside. Have you ever really wanted to do something? Maybe start a new hobby, ask for a raise, or change your life in some way. But then you just didn't. You found reasons not to, or you felt stuck. Well, imagine there's something inside you, like a big mountain that's standing in your way. This isn't a real mountain you can see with your eyes. It lives inside your head and your heart. So, what exactly is this mountain inside us? It's made of different things. It's our fears, maybe the fear of failing, or even the fear of succeeding and what that might mean. It's our doubts, thinking we're not good enough, or that it's too difficult. It's our old habits and the feeling of being comfortable, even if that comfort isn't really making us happy. This internal mountain is basically all the things that make us hesitate, feel stuck, or say, I can't. Why does this mountain stop us? It sounds strange, right? Why would we stop ourselves from doing things we really want? The main reason is simple. It feels safe. The mountain believes it is protecting you. Trying something new or big is scary because it's unknown. What if it doesn't work? What if you get hurt or feel embarrassed? Staying where you are, even if it's not perfect, feels safer because you know what to expect. The mountain is built from our fear of the unknown and our desire to avoid pain or discomfort. Let's think of an example. Maybe you really want to start exercising regularly to feel healthier. You plan to wake up early, you buy some workout clothes. But when the morning comes, the mountain inside says, you're too tired, it's cold outside, you can start tomorrow. Or maybe you decide to try a new recipe, but just before you start, you think, it's too complicated, I'll mess it up. That voice, those excuses, that feeling of resistance, that's the mountain doing its job, trying to keep you in your familiar, safe place, even if that means you don't reach your goal. So this is how we often stop ourselves. We self-sabotage. We build this mountain of fear and resistance, and then we believe we can't climb it. The things we want are on the other side, but we stay put because the climb looks too hard or too risky. Understanding that this mountain isn't a real barrier outside you, but a collection of your own internal feelings and fears is the first big step. It means the power to move it or climb over it is also inside you. Chapter 2. Why we stop ourselves. Have you ever asked yourself why things feel so hard even when you know what you need to do? You know, sometimes it feels like we are the ones making things difficult for ourselves. It's strange, right? We want to reach a goal, like getting a new job, starting a new hobby, or finishing a project. But then we do things that stop us or make the path much harder than it needs to be. We might wait too long to start, or we might give up easily when things get a little difficult. This chapter helps us understand why we do this. It talks about the main reasons we get in our own way. Often, these reasons are about feeling scared, or because of things that happened before in our lives. Let's think about fear first. Fear is a really big reason. We might be afraid of failing. What if we try something new and it doesn't work? That feels bad, right? The thought of that feeling can stop us from even trying. Maybe you want to apply for a better job, but you feel afraid you won't get it, so you don't even send the application. That's fear stopping you before you even start. But sometimes we are even afraid of succeeding. What if things change too much? What if success means more pressure or more responsibility? Or maybe we are afraid of what other people will think if we try and don't succeed, or even if we do succeed. Fear can make us stay small, stay where it's safe and known, even if safe means not moving forward or not reaching our dreams. Fear can be a powerful wall we build in front of ourselves. It tells us to stop, to wait, to not risk anything. Then there are things from the past. Our past experiences can really stick with us. Maybe you tried something before and it didn't work out the way you hoped. Or maybe someone important in your life said something to you that made you feel like you weren't good enough, or that you weren't capable. These old hurts, old failures, or old negative ideas can stay in our minds. They can become like beliefs that we carry with us. When we fail at something important in the past, it can create a strong belief that we are not good enough, or always fail. These beliefs become like rules in our mind, even if they are not true now. So, in the present, these past experiences make us think, "Oh, I can't do this," or "it won't work for me," because of what happens before. It's like carrying old heavy bags from the past that make it hard to walk forward now. These past problems create doubts and fears that feel very real in the present moment. So, because of these fears and these old stories or hurts from the past, we start to do things that stop us. We might wait and wait to start something important. This is called procrastination, and it's a way our fear of failure or success keeps us from trying. Or we might start something but then quickly stop when it gets a little hard, because our past experience tells us it's not worth trying, or that we will fail anyway. Sometimes we might even do things that make success less likely, like not preparing well, or missing important steps, almost like we are planning to fail without realizing we are doing it consciously. It's like our fear or past experience is secretly controlling our actions to keep us safe by staying where we are. This chapter is important because it helps us see that we are not just lazy or not trying hard enough. Often, there are real, understandable reasons behind our actions. Fears we have, or lessons we learned, maybe the wrong lessons from the past. Understanding why we stop ourselves, recognizing these fears and old patterns, is the first big step. When we can see these reasons clearly, it becomes possible to understand them, and then to choose to do something different. Chapter 3. Seeing Your Mountain. Do you ever feel like you want to move forward in life, but something is stopping you? And have you ever thought that the thing stopping you might actually be you? So, imagine you want to go somewhere new, but you keep finding reasons not to go. This chapter, Seeing Your Mountain, talks about something like that. It helps you understand that maybe the biggest reason you're not moving forward is actually you. Yes, it means you are your own mountain, the main challenge you need to face. It's about looking inside yourself. It's not about blaming others or saying life is unfair. It's about seeing the specific things you think and you do that create blocks on your path. Sometimes these things are hard to see because they feel normal, like just how you are. For example, maybe you have a dream, like starting a new hobby or changing jobs. How do you stop yourself? Do you tell yourself you don't have enough time? That's a common one. Or do you start thinking, what if I fail? What will people think? And then just don't try. Maybe you just feel tired or lazy every time you think about starting. These are all examples of how you build small walls in your own way without even fully realizing it. Why do we do this? Often it comes from fear. We might be afraid of failing, which feels bad. But sometimes, believe it or not, we're even afraid of succeeding, because that means change, and change can be scary. Or maybe it's just easier to stay in a situation that's not great, but it feels safe because you know it. Past experiences can also teach us to be careful, maybe too careful, leading us to hold ourselves back. This is why seeing your mountain is so important. It's about opening your eyes to these patterns. It's about saying, okay, where am I stopping myself right now? It takes courage to look honestly at your own actions and thoughts, especially the ones that aren't helping you. But this clear seeing is the necessary first step. You can't change something if you don't know it's there. So, think of this chapter as learning to see yourself clearly. It shows you that the main obstacle is internal. It's how you react, what you believe, and the habits you have. Once you can see that mountain, yourself, you have the power to understand it. And with understanding, you can start to find new ways around it, or maybe even climb over it. It's the start of figuring out how to help yourself move forward instead of holding yourself back. Chapter 4. Your mind matters. Have you ever stopped to think about how much power your thoughts actually have? This chapter talks about something really important: how the things you think in your head can totally change how you feel and what you do. It's like your mind is in charge of a lot more than you might think. It really acts like a filter for your whole experience. The main idea is that there's a strong connection between your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. It often works like a chain reaction. First, there's a thought. Then, that thought creates a feeling inside you. And finally, that feeling often influences what you decide to do. Let's think about an example. Imagine you have a big test or a difficult task in front of you. If your very first thought is, "Oh no, I'm going to fail. This is too hard for me," how do you think that makes you feel? Probably nervous, maybe a bit scared, or even hopeless, right? These are uncomfortable feelings. And when you feel like that, nervous, scared, or even hopeless, it's really hard to find the energy or the courage to try your best, isn't it? You might procrastinate, avoid the task completely, or just go through the motions without putting in real effort. Your feeling from that negative thought makes you act in a way that actually prevents you from succeeding, or at least makes it much harder. But now, what if your thought about the same situation was different? What if you thought instead, "Okay, this looks challenging, but I can try my best. I will learn something here, even if it's difficult"? How would that make you feel? Maybe you feel a sense of calm, a boost of energy, or just a quiet determination to get started. These are more helpful feelings. And feeling hopeful or determined almost automatically makes you act differently. You're more likely to sit down and focus, to see problems as challenges to solve instead of reasons to quit. You might study harder, ask for help, or keep trying even when it gets tough. See how the starting thought created a different feeling, and that different feeling totally changed what you did? Sometimes the connection is even more direct. If you think you're not good enough at something, you might not even try to do it at all, like joining a sports team or applying for a new job. That thought stops you before you even take the first step. So, this chapter is saying that understanding this connection, how your thoughts lead to feelings and actions, is really powerful. It means that if you can learn to manage your thoughts, you can start to change how you feel and what you do in your life. It doesn't mean you have to think happy thoughts all the time. That's not realistic for anyone. But it means becoming aware of the thoughts that are not helping you. Noticing the thoughts that make you feel bad or that stop you from even trying something new. The first step is just to listen to your own mind. What stories are you telling yourself every day? Are they stories that help you move forward or stories that hold you back? By understanding that your mind matters this much, you start to take control. You can challenge those unhelpful thoughts and choose to think in ways that support you and your goals. It shows you that the biggest obstacle isn't always outside of you. It's often the way you think about yourself and the situation. By learning to manage your mind, you are essentially equipping yourself with the tools to face any challenge, to climb your mountain. Chapter 5. Leaving the Past. Do you ever feel like the past is holding you back? This chapter helps us understand how things that happened a long time ago, hurts and difficult experiences, can actually keep us stuck right now. You might want to change something in your life, try something new, or build better relationships, but it feels like something is stopping you. Often, that something is connected to the past. When we experience pain or difficulty, our minds and bodies learn lessons to protect us. For example, if you were emotionally hurt when you were open about your feelings, you might learn to close yourself off to protect your heart. This protection strategy, born from a past hurt, can stop you from building close connections now. The old feeling of danger or fear is still present, even if the original situation is long gone. It's like you're driving, but the car's emergency brake from years ago is still partly on. You can move, but it's slow and hard. These past experiences create patterns in how we think and feel, making us expect similar bad things to happen again, so we avoid situations that might trigger those old feelings. This is how past hurts keep us feeling stuck in the present. So, how do we move on? This chapter explains that moving on is not about forgetting the past. It's not about saying it didn't matter. It's about recognizing how the past is affecting you now, accepting that it happened, and then consciously choosing to act differently in the present moment. It's about feeling the old fear or sadness if it comes up, but not letting it make your decisions for you today. It's about learning the lessons the past offered, but leaving the heavy emotional baggage behind. Let's use an example. Imagine you had a business idea when you were younger, but you failed badly and lost some money. You felt embarrassed and like a failure. Years later, you have another great business idea, but every time you think about starting, you feel that old fear and shame. This old hurt from the first failure is keeping you stuck. You don't start the new business even though you want to. Moving on means acknowledging that the first failure happened and that it hurt. It means understanding that the fear you feel now is connected to that event. Then it means making a conscious choice. You can tell yourself, yes, that happened and it was hard, but I learned things and this new idea is different. I can choose to try now, even if I feel scared. It's about taking that first step, maybe writing a business plan or talking to someone about your idea, despite the lingering fear from the past. It's choosing to build your future, using the past as a lesson, not a prison. It takes courage, but it's how you leave the past behind and move forward. Chapter 6. Being brave. Do you ever feel scared when you want to try something new or make a big change in your life? Many people think that being brave means you don't feel any fear inside you at all. But the truth is, that's often not the case for anyone. Real bravery means you do feel scared. Maybe you feel that fear strongly in your stomach or your chest, but you still choose to move forward and do the thing you want to do, or the thing that is important for you. This chapter helps you understand your fears better. It asks you to think, why am I really scared of this? And what is this fear trying to tell me right now? Sometimes fear is helpful. It keeps us safe. But other times, it's just old worries or old habits that stop us from trying new things or reaching our goals. So, instead of letting fear control you or making you turn away, you learn how to look at it. You start to see your fear as just a feeling, maybe like a message, but not something that has to stop you like a big solid wall. Then, the important part is learning how to take action even when you feel scared. This doesn't mean you suddenly have to do the biggest, most difficult thing right away. Instead, it's about finding small, manageable steps you can take. You don't wait until you feel ready or completely fearless. You make a choice to act while you are scared. Let's think about an example. Maybe you are really scared to meet new people. Being brave doesn't mean you have to walk into a big party and talk to everyone perfectly for hours. Being brave in that situation might mean just smiling at one new person, or saying hello to someone standing nearby, or maybe just going to the event for a short time and leaving if you feel too overwhelmed. Or imagine you want to try a new sport but feel scared you won't be good at it. Being brave is just going to one beginner class, or maybe just watching a video about it online first. It's about doing something, however small. Every time you take one of these small steps while you are feeling scared, you are teaching yourself that you can handle these feelings and still move forward. It's like exercising a muscle you haven't used much. The more you do it, the stronger that bravery muscle gets, and the easier it becomes to take bigger steps later. So, this part of the book is about helping you understand your fear not as an enemy, but as something you can work with, and finding practical ways to move past it step by step, even when you feel nervous or afraid. Chapter 7. Start Small. Do you ever have a big goal, something you really want to do, but it feels so huge, so difficult, that you just don't start? Maybe you want to learn a new skill, get healthier, or work on a big project. You look at the finish line and it seems miles away, like climbing a giant mountain. And because it looks so hard, it feels overwhelming, right? It's easy to think, I can never do that. And then you just stay where you are, feeling stuck. Well, this chapter talks about a simple but very powerful idea to help with that feeling. It's all about starting small. Instead of looking at the whole mountain you need to climb, you just focus on taking the very first step, and then the next. And each step is super small, super easy. The idea is that you break down your big goal, whatever it is, into tiny actions. Actions so small you almost feel silly not doing them. Why does this work? Think about it. A tiny step doesn't feel scary. It doesn't need a lot of energy or time. When something feels easy, you are much more likely to do it. And when you do that tiny step, you get a little feeling of success. That small success builds confidence. It shows that you can start. You can do something towards your goal. This builds momentum. It's like pushing a small stone. It's easy to get it moving. And once it's moving, it gets easier to keep it going, maybe even adding more energy. Let's take an example. Maybe your goal is to write a book. Thinking write a book feels huge. Where do you even start? But if you start small, it could be write one sentence, or even smaller, open the document, or think about one idea for 5 minutes. If your goal is to exercise more, maybe the first step is just put on your running shoes, or walk for 5 minutes, or do one push-up. These steps are so small, they take away the fear and the feeling of being overwhelmed. Each tiny action, no matter how small, moves you forward. You're not trying to finish the whole goal today, you're just trying to take one step today, and then one step tomorrow, and the next day. These small steps, repeated over time, add up. They become habits. They build consistency. And consistency is much more important than trying to do something perfectly or making huge jumps every time. It's about making progress, little by little. The important thing is to just start, to begin, even if it feels like you're doing almost nothing. Because doing something, no matter how small, is always better than doing nothing. Chapter 8. New Good Ways. Have you ever felt like your habits are stopping you from reaching your goals? Sometimes we focus a lot on stopping the things we think are bad. We try to stop eating too much sugar, or stop spending hours on our phones, or stop procrastinating. And while stopping unhelpful habits is a part of changing, this chapter talks about something a little different, and maybe even more powerful. It's about making new, good habits instead. The idea is to build positive actions into your day. These are called your new, good ways. Think about it. When you just try to stop a bad habit, you often feel like something is missing, or you are just fighting against yourself. It can feel difficult and tiring. But when you create a new good way, you are actively building something positive. You are putting something good into your life that helps you move forward. These new habits become like positive steps you take every day or every week that support your dreams and goals. They are actions that help you grow, learn, or become healthier. For example, maybe you want to stop staying up too late watching TV, which makes you tired the next day. Instead of just saying, "I must stop watching TV," a new good way could be deciding to spend 15 minutes reading a book before bed. This new habit of reading is a positive action. It helps your mind relax, maybe makes you feel sleepy in a good way, and uses the time you might have spent watching TV. This new good way of reading helps you get better rest. It's not just stopping something bad, it's building something good that supports your goal of feeling more energetic the next day. Another example could be wanting to stop feeling lazy about exercise. Instead of just telling yourself, "I must stop being lazy," a new good way could be deciding to take a short, energetic walk outside for 10 minutes every morning. This walk is a new, positive action you build into your day. It gives you energy, helps your body, and makes you feel good. It's a helpful habit that moves you towards your goal of being more active, instead of just trying to stop the feeling of laziness. So, the main point of this chapter is that changing your life isn't just about getting rid of the bad. It's powerfully about creating and building the good. It's about choosing actions and routines that actively help you, that support your well-being, and that move you step by step towards the person you want to be and the life you want to live. These new good ways become the strong base that helps you overcome challenges and make real progress. It feels much more positive and powerful to build something new and helpful than just to fight against old things. It's about replacing the habits that stop you with the habits that help you.
Chapter 9. Be nice to you. Let's think about how we react when things are difficult. When something goes wrong, when we make a mistake, or when we face a big challenge. What do you usually say or feel about yourself? Are you understanding, or are you very critical? This part is about a very important idea, learning to be kind and understanding to yourself, especially when you are having a difficult time. It's about how you treat yourself in your own mind and heart. You see, many of us have a strong inner critic. This is like a voice inside us that is very critical. When we make a mistake, this voice says, "You are so clumsy," or "You always mess things up." When we fail at something, it says, "See, I told you you couldn't do it." This voice is often loud and negative. We learn to be hard on ourselves from different places, maybe from things people told us when we were younger, or from trying to be perfect all the time. But this critical voice doesn't help us. It makes us feel bad, sad, and sometimes makes us want to give up. Being kind to yourself means treating yourself with the same patience, understanding, and forgiveness that you would offer to someone you care about. Imagine if a close friend came to you and said, "I made a big mistake today, and I feel terrible." Would you say to them, "Yes, you are terrible. You always make mistakes"? Of course not. You would say, "It's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. It's a difficult situation. How can I help?" Being kind to yourself is about giving yourself that same friendly support. It means accepting that being human means making mistakes, facing difficulties, and not always being perfect. Instead of judging yourself harshly, you try to understand what happened and how you feel. So, how do we learn to be kind to ourselves? First, it starts with noticing that critical voice. When you feel bad about something, listen to what you are telling yourself. Is it kind, or is it mean? Then try to change that voice. Speak to yourself as you would a friend. Instead of "I'm so stupid," try, "Okay, I made a mistake. What can I learn?" Instead of "I failed," try, "This didn't work out, and that feels bad. what is one small step I can take next? It's also about allowing yourself to feel your emotions without judging them. If you feel sad, don't tell yourself stop being sad. Instead, acknowledge it. I feel sad right now because of what happened, and that's okay. It's about giving yourself a break when you need one. Maybe you need rest, maybe you need to do something you enjoy, or maybe you just need to accept that today was hard. Think about it like this. Imagine you are learning something new, maybe a new sport or a new language. It's difficult. You make many mistakes. The critical voice says, "You're terrible at this. Give up." Being kind to yourself means saying, "Wow, this is harder than I thought. It's normal to not be good when you start. I'm going to practice for just a little while today, and that's enough. I'm doing my best right now." It's about encouraging yourself, not beating yourself down. Being kind to yourself isn't selfish. It's necessary for your well-being and your ability to handle life's challenges. When you are kind to yourself, you build inner strength. You become more resilient, which means you can bounce back more easily when things go wrong. You develop more self-acceptance, which helps you feel better about yourself as you are, not just when you are perfect. This kindness also helps your relationships with others, because when you accept yourself, it's easier to accept other people. It gives you the emotional space and energy to keep trying, keep learning, and keep moving towards your goals, even after difficulties. It's truly about being your own best support system in a challenging world.